am live. Delightful. Yes, there we go. Hi everybody, what's up? Andy here. Glass half dead. What do I say these days? The #1 YouTube channel, Kill Team channel on YouTube, unless you're aware of any other channel. There you go. I like that one. That one's fun. I think that sets the tone nicely, if I'm honest. The whole double hello thing, of course, very wholesome, very good, but a bit random. I think starting everything off with a nice touch of self-deprecation is very much the way it should be. So yeah, in today's stream, my talking points from the thumbnail are: I played in a tournament yesterday, so I'll have a little chat about that, and I also went ahead and let me go. I did some stats of the weekend tournaments. Every tournament that was over 20 players or 20 players or over, I just went ahead and checked those out. So I'll keep that in the background so you can see what's coming in a sec. We'll talk about that. And that's it really. Is there anything else? Tournaments? Oh, I'm playing another tournament next Sunday or Saturday. I should find that out. And my intention is to play another team. Although the more I've thought about that, that might not be the best idea. But either way, I am considering if I want to play another team or play Blades of Cain next Sunday as well. And that's it. Now, I do actually have loads of hobby to do. And I was going to make this a hobby stream. So you can see me hobbying in the background as I chat. It would therefore obviously be a little bit less kind of just me hammering on for 2 hours solid before I finally give up. But that is not the case. Anyway, if you are in chat already, I know it's very early. If you're not aware of how these streams normally start, the first kind of 5, 10, 15 minutes is very slow paced. I can't actually talk about any of the subjects yet because people don't immediately enter as soon as they get the notification. They wait, 10 minutes or whatever. So I've got to wait for that critical mass before I can actually start talking about things, because then I get too many people saying, "Have you talked about that thing yet?" It's like, well, yeah, I've actually gone through everything, because I could do that. I can be concise. I can just actually say exactly what I mean in like 2 sentences. Unfortunately, YouTube does not like that. Hence the ramble, and then I went way too far. I distinctly recall my first few videos, I was like, it was 10 minutes at the time, it's 8 minutes now. I was like, I can't talk for 10 minutes. Really, I don't know how to do this. And I said everything I wanted to say in 2 minutes. And then I just had to extend the video for 8 minutes. So I obviously fixed that issue. And that's how I just deal with all YouTube. But that's fine. Yes, hello chat, how's it going? Everybody in chat, everybody watching, what's up? We've got Marty, obviously the guy that actually told me what was going on with LVO. Thank you for that, Marty. Over in my Discord, we've got, I'm going to say Christo, 35, but could be Zristo, who knows? Good to see you, my man. And Major Tom, hello, Major Tom, of course. Bit of trivia about Major Tom. Tom is not his name. There you go. Pain in my eye. Come for the info, stay for the rambles. Well, yeah. Yeah, if you're not into the rambles, I do kind of, what's the word? Bait you? I was going to say a dirtier word, but I'm trying to keep it wholesome in this live stream. So I do kind of bait you with that, the notion that I'm going to give you info. Like, short, sharp info, because what you actually want to hear is about a 2-minute sentence. But then, I'm like, well, it's got to be an 8-minute video, sorry guys. And then if I'm rambling for 8 minutes, I've obviously latched onto something, so I just keep going until I finish that thought. Sergeant Joel, hello. Are you looking at just GT stats or RTT stats as well? So the only stats that I've looked at here were just every tournament that happened this weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, that had 20 or more players. Within that, there were events that only had 3 rounds, which in my opinion are kind of irrelevant. But you know what? Who cares? That was still a golden ticket event. So somebody that just won a 3-round event is going to be at Worlds, right? So who cares? I mean, it was a 35-player tournament, so fair play. But yeah, 3 rounds is a bit silly. I think there were 4 winners, you know, like undefeateds. So, but yeah, there you go. Again, I'm not trying to do some big, really serious, in-depth analysis of numbers. Let's be super clear on that. I want to be very clear on that, in fact. It's just me looking at some things and saying, oh, that's interesting. And I'm using it to fuel my ideas for the future as to what I might play. I'm not kind of going to draw... I shouldn't make that hand gesture too much. Probably shouldn't. I'm not trying to draw like big conclusions from it, okay? That's not what this is. Because there's not enough data. Let's be super clear about that. There were 194 games. Games? No, players. And factions recorded over the weekend. So, there you go. Cool. Which is not enough to determine anything. Let's be clear. Cool. Big Dilly 79, hello. I used your technique in the last video on some Deathwing Blade Guard vets. And they turned out great. Appreciate it, brother. Lovely. I assume you mean this technique? This bad boy right here? We mean the I don't really even want it to focus on the model, so I'm going to stop that. That's good. I'm glad. Out of focus. Great. I'm glad that helped. Do you mean specifically the spray thing, or what I showed for that kind of unboxed to table with the bone armor? I've just cut out, actually. This is the hobby I've been doing today. I've been cutting out tiny squares of cardboard because I need to do some more urban bases. So that's all I'm doing here. Actually, Tom is my name. It's just nobody uses it. Well, there you go. Hey, you know, I'm glad that my accuracy is on point as ever. I don't really get things right. It's not kind of my thing. So, thank you, Major Tom. Tom, don't you gaslight me, Steve. We don't know his name. Well, it's Tom apparently, but I don't think it is. Bigonge? Bygonge. Hello, Bygonge. Hi. Absolute noob here. Thanks so much for your content. No problem. Do you have any rules questions you need answered? I barely know the rules, as you're about to find out when I tell you how my tournament went this weekend. 3 rounds should be 16 players max. Yes. Agreed. Well, yeah, it's an interesting one. So I played somebody who ended up being undefeated on Sunday. Nick Collins, he was playing Wreckers. And I didn't have a particularly great tournament myself. One of the things that was used to separate the 4 undefeateds was strength of schedule. And it's like, it is in no way up to him who his first and second round opponents are, right? So whether or not he wins is based on my performance that he has nothing to do with. It's like, okay, well, very strange, very strange. I don't think strength of schedule is how things should be, but anyway, it should be something that you could control. Personally, I would quite like the idea of primary points scored, something like that. You know, that's a thing that is entirely within your control that you pick. Whatever. Yeah. Heartsy. Android app for Kill Team got a core-only update. Yes. Presumably, that is our pre-patch, right? That's the patch before the patch. We would expect, so I reckon it's coming tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. There you go. One of those days. Worst case scenario, it'll be Thursday. I'm guessing Wednesday, and the reason I guess Wednesday is because I might have to be at work. Oh, I have to be in work on Thursday too, so I won't be able to cover it when it drops. And you know how it goes with news. If you're not first, you're last. Tabletop Impulse, rambling is charming, at least that's what I tell myself. If we don't tell ourselves that, Phil, we will never make videos. So I agree. Slacker at large. I just saw your comment on another video. What was it on? Oh, the Honest Wargamer. Yes. Who was talking about big models. Hello, Slacker at large. Good to see you. I brought 2 new people to Kill Team this weekend. I feel accomplished. Excellent. What teams were they playing? Was it 2 Marines? Just saying. Genuine question. Sauce, seriously, is it 2010? Margin of victory is the only legit tiebreak. So I'm actually not 100% sure that it was strength of schedule. That was just what they were talking about. It's possible we were just complaining about it in general, and we all agreed it was a terrible decision by whoever decides that. I can't actually confirm it, but there you go. Yeah. Roy Ingram. Good second name. Hello, Top Noob here. I've been playing the starter set. Lovely. I was struggling with line of etc. advantage shot. Thank you for that video. Oh, great. Yeah. I was going to say, if you need more info after that video, I'm not the guy. There's somebody else for you. I don't know who it is. But that was pretty much everything that I could possibly think of. Obviously, the key with that video is it's just constant repetition of things that are basically the same. So you could just watch it again and again. And that will kind of tell you everything. I think there was one scenario I ended up missing. Oh, yeah. There was one rule that I ended up not discussing. It didn't need to be because it is very obvious in the text and you can't mistake it. But I did not actually discuss it. But whatever. Would have been like 2 words. Yep. Dark Large, Angels of Death and High-Tech Circle. Yeah, because they're new. So they've gone with Marines, who are the most popular faction, and Necrons or Tyranids, who are the second most popular factions. So there you go. Makes sense. Makes sense. Who wins? I have to assume Angels of Death, because High-Tech Circle is... I don't know. You know, I haven't played them this edition. Maybe they're good. I know they're good, but I still assume that if you are a proper beginner, Marines still just win. But maybe they don't. Maybe reanimation lets you win the day with High-Tech in a very different way to Marines. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, I've caught up with chat, and it has been a solid 10 minutes. So I can probably start talking about things. Let's just quickly go over my tournament experience. Oh, sorry. But of course, first, before we do that... Oh, and we have Jin. Jin of the Sheep. Although in Discord, Jin of the Shep, which always confuses me. Some people say he has an actual name. I don't know it. I don't need to know it. He's just Jin. Jin to me. Well, yeah, Marcy. I think that one thing that a lot of people forget is the beginner experience. I'm all about the beginner experience because I am a scrub player myself. And so I kind of... I'm not going to go win any tournaments. That's not me. That's fine. I don't want to grind the tournament circuit. I don't want to grind my ITC points and oh, there's a talking point about that. Remind me if I forget later. You know, I'm quite happy being the voice of the bad player, to be honest with you. Sorry, let's phrase it nicely. The voice of the casual player. Casual, that's me, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. And I think that when you're trying to have an absolute sweat fest of a game, that is very different to how it is, you know, depending on whether you're in a tournament, at what skill level. It's great that top players can beat teams, but doesn't mean everybody can. Doesn't mean everybody will ever be able to. It's not even a matter of experience and time played in the game. It's just straight up, I never intend to be that good, you know? But look, I keep having to look further and further right to see the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm going to say the whole name because I'm all about that multicultural. Eduardo Armando Montes de Orca Lazo, sure. I'm new to Kill Team. I just picked up Tau Pathfinder and I've been utterly destroyed every single game. I wish bad or try to change teams. You should change teams. There you go. So Pathfinders are not in a good spot right now. And, oh, sorry. There should be a balance patch coming in like 2 days. So hold fire. Now, I don't think Pathfinders are going to get what they need. Because, frankly, this is more of a an emergency balance patch for Elite who are broken. However, as a Pathfinder, you're not in a strong spot. That's 100% for sure. you're in quite a weak spot, and you're also quite a fragile team, so as a new player, you're going to really struggle with that. It is ultimately going to teach you pretty good fundamentals, because ultimately Kill Team is a shooting game, and of course Pathfinders are all shooting, so you will absolutely love it when you finally have a melee operative on your side, like, oh my god, this is much easier to play the game this way. But yeah, quickly touching on that can just get, yes, Isaac. A 3-month late emergency, indeed. Let's not talk about that. This is a positive, toxic positivity, wholesomeness. That's what I'm about. Sorry, I need to very quickly say, hey, if you're a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to give you a big double hello. And if you're a patron of my channel, your support has granted me hydration. Thank you very much, sirs. Thank you very much, sirs. Right. No, and he stopped it. No, Jin, I've continued. Sorry. I take 1 by 1 VP. Oh, that's pretty good going. As a noob, by Gonj, one game on TTS was versus Necros. Holy moly, shot off the table. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah. Not hobby-wise to stream. I was considering hobbying. In fact, as I just said, I have lots of hobby to do, in fact. But I also think I have like 3 relatively large topics to discuss. And so I don't think I'm going to run dry today. And in fact, I think if I was to have the actual hobby in front of me, I would then be talking quite slowly, stumbling, stammering a lot. And it wouldn't really be the content I'm trying to put out. Which might sound odd, you're thinking, and it's a live stream, chill out. But yeah. On a slower week, when I didn't have as much to discuss, I would hobby. Currently building Custodes Tyranids. Well, other stuff too. I've had a bit of a manic week, guys. I'm not going to lie. I've made a few purchases. Right. Next thing you'll be telling me we should play with painted models. I would never say such a thing, let me tell you that right now. Tabletop, actually, no I would. But they could just be spray painted different colours. Say, yellow guy is the gunner, you know? Like, perfect, that's all I need. It's the King of Dad teams, the King of Casuals is still open. Okay. I could be there's a lot of dads in Warhammer, so that's quite a title. You did great, thank you. Oh, good evening, Jack. Hello, good to see you, my man. I feel like I could grind the tournament circuit, but I'd still consider myself a filthy casual, if not a filthy hipster. Let me tell you this, Jin. As somebody that has beaten you, you are a casual. That's how I like to grade people in Kill Team. Has Glass Half Dead ever beaten you in a game? You're a casual. Your skill level has been capped. I do apologise. I do apologise for that. We can say that you gave me the win, thank you. But yeah, that's actually my mental list. Have I beaten you? You're a casual. Have you beaten me? You're a sweaty nerd. That's the only way it works. Like, you know. Where was I? Emergency, yeah. Change what terrain you're playing on. At times, it's a very different game to Volcus. Yes, that is a fair point. Volcus is very dense. Obviously, we do need to get used to Volcus, and we have to accept that that's how GW wants us to be playing the game at the moment, considering that we have Volcus and Into the Dark. Very heavy, dense stuff. But yeah. Oh, Octarius. Octarius was still a good set, you know. Right. What would you think about a Dark Angels versus Fallen? Oh, that would be fire, obviously. It is never going to happen. But it would be fire. Would it just be one? The thing is, GW would just give us one box. And it would just be, these are the Fallen models. It's a 5-model team. You've built 10. It's going to go to 40k as a 10-model box. Just like all Space Marines, right? They'd get us. They'd get us. I do, of course, love the Dark Angels aesthetic. Anytime you put cloth over plate armor, as Isaac says, thinner nut. Indeed, Crack open hydration. You got to. Wargaming. Eliminate a sniper if he's on the highest point of focus and is constantly concealed with a silent perk on his weapon. What's the rule set on line of sight there? I don't know if I can really help you with that. Nothing changes. Line of sight doesn't change. You've added in a variable that isn't a variable. I understand you're asking a question and I'm just answering. There is no change. If he's on silent, he can just perform the shoot action on conceal. The way he draws line of sight, visibility, all identical. You know, a very good idea when you're trying to learn the rules is read the rules. That sounds like an insult. Let me continue. Don't assume that something that isn't in the rules changes the rules. That's a very big thing, right? Like you just said there. It's like, well, I'm on conceal. That must change things. Nope. Doesn't say anywhere that being on conceal does change things, etc., etc. However, let's be very clear. Kill Team is a large rule set with a lot of rules that do change things. So, yeah, watch out. What I just told you was a lovely concept, but it does fall apart if you, yeah. But as a beginner, that's the way to view it. Can't get my mate to like Kill Team, even with your great video. He hates the line of sight. Can I shoot? How much cover is there? Mechanics. Typical 40k player just wants to roll dice and remove models. Which is bizarre because, if I'm honest, 40k, like, ruins are just heavy terrain. That's obscurity, right there. Barricades or whatever they have over there, that's light terrain. That's just somebody that doesn't want to learn a new rule set. That's totally fine. It is what it is. If he can understand ruins, he can understand line of sight in 40k Kill Team. You placed higher than I did at my first LVO. That qualifies. Unfortunately, that was in an edition that I was good at. Yes, I have D-leveled. I've D-ranked, D-powered since the glory days of 2019, when I was good at the game. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I prefer Volkers to Octarius, but if you are playing Parthies, you'll have more fun on Octarius. Yep, totally agree. Tabard team rise up. What's the term? Am I wearing a tabard? That's the scroll. Be clear. There you go. I don't know. Okay, right. I went to a tournament this weekend. I'm not going to do a big, tournament report video, although I love watching and listening to people's tournament reports. It's one of the few things that I'm like, it's basically a podcast. I don't care if it's one person or multiple people. I can put it on. I know that I never need to look up at the screen. No matter what they've done for visuals, I don't need to look, right? Wayne Howe, quick lunch break. Hello to you too, sir. And yeah, it's just fun. I just get to hear people talking about games. If you recall my Brutal and Cunning tactical reports, that's what those were supposed to be. They were meant to basically just be an hour-long podcast where I talk about a game. Unfortunately, people didn't quite take it that way. But that's the kind of thing I love to listen to. Like, I don't really care what's happening on the screen. I just want to hear people talking about the game. I quite enjoy that content. So I'm not doing that, but I do love that kind of content. Of course, if you're from the old Kill Team 18 days, you will be aware of Kill Team, the Chill Team podcast. Absolute fire. Loved that. I wish they brought it back. It was a lot of effort, though. Somebody that recorded with them either once or twice, a lot of effort. Right, so I played. It was a 3-round. I went to Nottingham Kill Team, which was 35 player, 3 rounds. My first round, I played. I was Blades of Cain. I played the same list every time, which was 3 Scorpions, 3 Banshees, 2 Dire Avengers. There you go. With the X-Arch being a Scorpion every time. My first game was into Nick Collins, who was playing Wrecker Crew. Now, Blades of Cain have, I think, a great matchup into Wrecker Crew. So this was a good pull. I was like, yes, sweet. Go off, King. Then, Nick Collins, he's a better player than me. He plays more games in a week normally than I play when grinding for a tournament prep. Okay, so fine. Bad player to pick, good team to pick. Felt fine with it, not an issue. Went into it. Now I've got to explain. So obviously this was a UKTC event, and it took place inside a sports hall. And holy moly, it was super cold. I went into it thinking I'm going to be in a warm car the whole way, and then I'm going to be shoulder to shoulder with 1,000 sweaty nerds. I'm not going to be cold. I'm going to be too hot. I don't even need my jacket, right? I'm only in a hoodie, and that can be taken off, right? I was very mistaken. Wow, it was intensely cold. I was literally shaking. Like I apologized to my opponent in round 1, saying I'm sorry, like I'm cold. I wish I brought gloves. That was a bit much, if I'm honest. I didn't much care for the playing conditions. Obviously, nothing that the kill teamers could have done about that, right? Not their thing. And yeah, there you go. Anyway, I was happy with the matchup. And let me tell you, because I want to really highlight this to the 62 people there right now. This was the worst game of kill team I have played in my life. Okay? Not Nick. Nick Collins, lovely guy. Nick Collins, of course, is the guy that does Crossfire. So we have both that business relationship where I have an affiliate link and I promote his stuff. And he's a nice guy from New Zealand. So always fun to hear that accent. And he's obviously a good player. And it's always good to play against good players. Cool. So, good opponent, good matchup. But, oh boy. I'm just gonna tell you 2 things that happened, okay? And then we can just move on because it's irrelevant. It's absolutely pointless to talk about this game. So basically, it was a solid setup. Yep, fine-ish, no issues. I actually was somehow not familiar with this map, which I don't know why. I don't know if it was positioned incorrectly, but I must have never seen it before. I don't know how that happened because I have played on every Volcus map, but whatever. Anyway, we line up. He's got the stronghold on the left, which is like basically in his deployment zone, so he's lined up one side of it. I move up to the other side of it. I place this is the 2-story stronghold. I put my 2 dudes next to the 3-inch bit because I'm quite concerned that obviously next turn he can just charge and fight me in melee, and I'm quite scared of that melee because he's going to win that, especially if he charges me. Fine. So they're both kind of next to each other behind a 3-inch bit, so because it's not a 2-inch bit, he wouldn't have control range, wouldn't be able to fight or shoot without coming out. Lovely. And then I put another guy up next to them because I had nowhere to move to. Whatever. If he kills one guy, it'll allow me to start the trade, is what it is. I don't want him to, but fine. I was aware of the bomb squigs. He did some ladder shenanigans. That's fine. Totally understandable. And then, cool. No issues. On the other side of the board, I staged fine. I've got a Banshee up there ready to do, and a Banshee over there. So I'm ready to do my fly charge wherever I need it. All in all, it was a good setup. Then, total player error. I know the Wrecker crew. I know roughly what they do. I just gave him he won the activation, and then he just killed 3 of my guys with 1 shot because he had blast, and he just got an angle on me. There you go. That was it. So I lost 3 guys on the first activation of turn 2. I'm not stupid, but this was the stupidest and therefore worst game of Kill Team and this particular move I've ever done. Because it wasn't a gotcha. It was clear he could do that. I just wasn't paying attention. So there you go. That was quite sad. I will say, okay, that's bad. Next thing I do my fly charge. I managed to get something he doesn't see coming. Obviously, we both know the game's done. Right? Let's be clear on that. But I do a fly charge because it's a tournament. You play the game out. You don't stop. Right? It's going to be fast. Excellent. So I do my fly charge over to the other side. I get one of his fighters. I've got my rerolls up. His fighter's ready, so I've got my ceaseless. Excellent. I roll a 1 and 3 2s. I have ceaseless. I reroll 3 2s into 3 1s. I rolled 4 1s on 7 dice. I then just moved my models into the middle so he could kill me. Now I'm very frustrated by this because there was no reason for me to make that move. As I say, I just wasn't paying attention. And so not only did I do myself a disservice, I did Nick a disservice as an opponent. And that was bad. There you go. Yeah. I obviously lost on the 3 on the blast. Is what it is. Is what it is. But then I just threw out I was clearly destined to lose this game, right? Because the Banshee proves that bad boy. But there you go. So that's how that went down. I also fought another guy and didn't get a kill somehow. Okay. Fine. Whatever. Cool. Anyway. So that was the first game. Second game was into Angels of Death. With a lovely opponent. I actually really liked this game. So total kind of reverse here. So first game was Volcus, second game was Into the Dark. Now, I want to talk about this because every game I've ever played of Into the Dark, I'm going to call out names here. No, I'm not. There are 2 opponents that I'm specifically thinking of. And I won't name who they are because none of you know who they are, so it doesn't matter. But every game I've played with them on Into the Dark has been an absolute sweat fest and has been using what I will term. I've got to not swear. What's a word for? What's a polite word? What's a polite word for something really bad? Cancer? That's not a swear word. They use cancer, okay? And they make the experience of Into the Dark, honestly, horrifying. And have turned it into a kill zone that I don't want anything to do with. I've never loved Into the Dark, but that's because I've mainly been playing it with people that play it in a very, sure, we can say beardy, yeah, in a very beardy way, okay? And as such, I've come away from Into the Dark not loving the things you do in there. I think it's a bad play experience. However, this game, quick matchup. Blades of Cain into Angels of Death. I should not win on Into the Dark. As I've learned from my practice games there. Fine is what it is. Sorry. And that's all good. Sure enough, in my practice games on Into the Dark with Blades of Cain into Angels of Death, literally unwinnable. There you go. If you play that team correctly on Into the Dark, unless you roll as Angels of Death nothing but 1s, and I roll nothing but 6s, you win that game. Cool. That's fine. In this game, Angels of Death player 1, I think there were like 1 or 2 times where dice just probably should have gone a bit more my way, but I'm not blaming that at all. He probably should have still won it. But he didn't do a single beardy thing. All of the issues I have with Into the Dark, he managed to beat me without doing any of. And I was like, you know what? This is probably the best game on Into the Dark I've ever played. And it's almost resurrected my faith for the Gallowfall kill zone, which is awesome. Because it is a cool kill zone, I just hate to play it the way I've always played it. And I really don't like it. The problem, of course, is that the way I've been playing in the past is because, well, that's just kind of what that kill zone encourages you to do. You know? There were a few times where I could have done a beardy move, but he hadn't done it to me, and I didn't want to be the first one to start explaining, well, I think you'll find that I'm actually, because I'm over an inch here, and then you won't be able to, and then so you can't actually shoot me. So, you know, so I didn't do it. That was cool. We still used guard correctly, like both of us guarded at different points, and that was something to play around, whereas the beardiness, I suppose, of certain ways that doors can work, counteracts can interact with doors, and also just obscurity within that just never came up, and that was awesome. And he beat me, and totally fair, awesome. Then finally, that was a loss to me. Then last game, which I deserve. That was a well-played game on both sides, I think, and he won, awesome. I didn't make any huge mistakes there. Then finally, I played into Vespids as my final game, and again, that was a fun game. The guy's dice just sucked. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it was rough to see. It was rough to see his dice. I don't think he ever rolled a 4. He only rolled 5, 6s, or 1s and 2s and 3s. I was like, yeah. So that was rough to see. To be honest, you know, he did kill some of my guys, obviously, but yeah, it didn't go well. Didn't go well for him. His dice were very cold, and my dice were normal, and that's all you need. That's all you need as Blades of Cain to smash some Vespids. I really felt the power of the APL3. I was able to, you know, charge shoot, and just that works great. So that was a pretty stonking win to me. Not as easy as the game that I gave Nick round 1, but still relatively easy. That's just Vespids. They're very hot and cold depending on how people roll. I've had a game where I've managed to table Scouts. Obviously, Scouts, not a good team, I do understand, but Vespid also not a good team. But they do have that kill power if you can roll a couple of 6s, right? I think a buff they probably need is, you know, if you move, you get balance. Well, you can reroll 1 dice. I think you've got to change that to ceaseless, minimum. And then they also need some APL shenanigans so they can actually do things. Or, let's be honest, I know that everybody says, oh, make the drone an APL, a comms. They have communion points. They have way too many. Make communion points do something. Allow 1 communion point a turn to be able to make them like +1 APL. Or you can do anything with your communion points. Expand the communion points thing a little bit. But an easy one would be you can spend a communion point to give +1 APL twice a turn. Something like that, right? And that will probably just push them over the edge so they can do a few shenanigans. At the moment, they really, really have to decide, am I going all in on kills or am I going to tap points? Because you're not doing both. There you go. Okay, right, that's my tournament wrap-up. Cool. It was a long drive. I would never make that drive myself, but my friend was going, so I just sat in the car. Had a Burger King breakfast. I've got to be honest, I do prefer a McDonald's sausage egg McMuffin. I am carb-free, so either way, you just take the bun off. A burger without a bun is just a great meal if you're carb-free, by the way. Moving on. Right, first topic done. Let's catch up with chat. Okay. So I apologise, everybody. I had to get through the topic. Oh, tabards are cloth vests over armour. Right, I'd forgotten I'd mentioned it. Sorry. Yes, exactly, Major Tom. Do what it says on the card. Do not do what it does not say on the card. 100%. 18, any good? It sounds kind of bad. I loved it. I love alternating activations, but I actually love alternating phases. I actually think alternating phases is way more fun than full-on alternating activations, and then you can have an initiative system. It's a whole thing. What was it called? It did unfortunately stay far too close to 40k to be truly its own like solid rule set. However, I think if you kind of blended KT18 a little bit with its own kind of almost Warcry-esque system, then it would be its own game entirely and be an absolute banger. One of the big things that people will talk about is there were some spam issues, but I mean, these would all be fixable, right? And then also injury rolls, but you just fix that by giving people Warcry style wound numbers or kill team style wound numbers. There you go. It's pretty terrible compared to the current game, but it was good for its time. Again, I disagree with Major Tom there, but he knows that. Had its flaws, but it was very fun. Every model didn't have 40 rules and 20 gotchas per kill per team like today. Yes, it was a very different game, which is why I said it should kind of lean more towards the Warcry fun, fast aspect than the Kill Team Sweatfest. Both were good. I'm just saying it was definitely a lighter game. How do you deploy a third of your kill team 3 times, rounding up? Oh, this sounds like a math joke that I'm too stupid to understand why it's a trick. So, if you don't understand maths, you can do anything. I divide by 0 all the time. Ooh, you took a Scorpion X-Arch. Yeah, so into a 12 wound model, the Scorpion's better, I think. You don't need the 7 damage of your Executioner, although the -1 hit's always good, so whatever. But Lethal 5 Brutal is pretty good on the Scorpion Claw, and they're at 10 health, I think. Anyway, bro, watching your shorts, I'll cry. You're too funny, man. Thank you, Digital Draw Ride. Happy that you're enjoying them. Hope that they are taken in the way they are meant, which is they're just a mildly amusing gotcha guide. That's all. They're not meant to be taken seriously. A lot of people are taking them very seriously, and they think that I don't like Kill Team. But there you go. I do get a lot of people saying, "Oh, if these are the rules, you've turned me right off, Kill Team, mate." Like, all right, fine. These are the rules. You know, you weren't gonna like the game, soz. More gotchas than Kill Team 18. They were just. They just told me you're just lying. What are you talking about? But okay, cool. Impossible. There was like half the teams and a third. Yeah. Major Tom's just on one because he doesn't like Kill Team 18. It's fine. You're an absolute madman. It's been. But I know. I don't know, man. Again, I thought that the number of bodies were going to be like perpetual motion of heat. They were not. Talking about games without forgetting almost everything that happened, my usual trick, all devolving into Arnold Rimmer risk. Ah, could that be a joke? No, I can't make that funny. It's a great bit. That's a short. That's a shorts joke, not a real 2-hour battle report joke, because that would wear thin. Nick is a great guy. Yep, great guy. Agreed. Okay, I was a bit downcast when I went to Warhammer rather than the indie event. Again, not indie, but sure. But it was cold. Wow. Yeah, it was cold. It was really cold. Went to the right event. Can't deal with cold. Toasty. Yeah. I agree. Somehow they managed it, even if you ignore commanders. Again, they didn't, but it's fine. It's a dead game. Doesn't matter. 4 1s on set. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. As I say, I was meant to lose the game. That's fine. Anyone hobbying while watching? Vixen Corpse there, doing the job that I should be doing. I should have been engaging. I should say, hey guys, what's everyone hobbying? Instead, I just explained why I wasn't hobbying, which is brilliant streamer etiquette. Well done, me. Love it. Love it. Not a lot you can do about that. Tank Buster boys with blast weapons, unthinkable. Yeah, they were pretty good. Depends if what I'm doing counts as a hobby. Isaac, I will ban you. Thank you. Acute case of autophobia, don't know what that is. Guard action, counteract, go back on guard. Yeah. But again, he didn't do it. Didn't need to. Still won. It was awesome. Is the opposite of beardiness baldiness? No. They are not mutually exclusive. Wait, people playing guard, counteract to go on guard? Oh, Jin, buddy. You're going to learn next Sunday. You're going to get called over as TO. And they're going to be like, can he do this? And you're like, I don't know. Yes. Oh no. Almost swore. Not in this stream. Hashtag wholesome. I actually really like Vespid. They can be incredibly fun, but also incredibly depressing. Yeah. Hitting on 4s. Not the way to go, man. You know? Yeah. You're way too fragile. Big issues with Vespid. Again, I'm not the guy to go to for how to balance things, obviously. But maybe not me, But GW legit does need to get some casual players on their playtest team and tell them, hey guys, don't get good at the game. Like, continue to suck, please. Because we need a casual perspective for these games. Because I'm absolutely convinced that their playtesters are all absolutely top tier players. And when they were playtesting, they're like, hey, we've figured out how to beat Marines. So don't worry, we're good. We've balanced it. But then, why are you balancing for the top 1% of players? That's not a balanced game. By definition, that's an imbalanced game. You need casuals on that playtest team who just play a bunch of games, but they're still not very good. Not me, but you know, like, you do. Every playtest team, you can say, hey, these are the narrative playtest teams, but like, you need that on your playtest team. It would appear that they don't have that. McDonald's breakfasts are the best part of going to a toilet. Yeah, I do very much like a McDonald's. Sorry, minor shout out to Burger King. My friend got, who can have carbs, got like hash browns. They're tiny little discs. They were great, and you got loads. I've never had as you can tell, I've never had a Burger King breakfast before. They were very tasty as well. I heard its own war crime style system. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure, we can have that. We will be downloading WhatsApp too. Pass, don't know. Here's still waiting for Days State want to play my Chaos Cult without getting table. Yeah, I was just looking at Chaos Cult the other day because I thought nobody's playing them. Maybe there's something here. No, if there was something there, people would be playing them. They are not doing well. Yeah, they need a little boost. Out of curiosity, were Chaos Cults and Inquisitorial Agents moved to be in line with the first group to be Legends, out of curiosity? Or were they at the end of Into the Dark, where they logically should be, because that's when they released? But were they actually moved? No, I'm thinking of Gellerpox and Starstriders, aren't I? Cult and Inquisition are the end of Into the Dark. Okay, cool. I wonder how come Kill Team can be such a sweatfest anyways. I really don't know. It's very strange. I don't think it attracts a certain type of player. It must be how the rules are written. But if you just go and read the rules for 40k or Age of Sigmar, it's like, it's all very point by point. Like Age of Sigmar is super point by point. But it's still easier to play that non-sweat. So I don't really know how that works, to be honest with you. Tournament breakfast is fried eggs with cheese and baked on a croissant. I will say, I had never been an Egg McMuffin guy. Wait, what are they actually called? There's a name for that, isn't there? But like a brioche bun with, you know, stuff inside. Until I went to Kill Team Open. And the breakfast they did there, obviously Orion was doing there, Orion Wilfog, as the chef there, was doing those. And I was like, well, I've got no other breakfast, so I'm going to eat one. And like, they're pretty tasty, actually. Yeah. And then, when I came back to England, McDonald's, they do those too. I was like, oh, let's give it a crack. Bloody lovely. For breakfast, I did like Kill Team 18 at the time, give or take the odd. Yeah, I mean, hey, every system has stupid rules, yeah. As there are more gotchas on the Space Marine data sheet than there are in... if you say so. I'm probably going to disagree with you, but it's fine. I don't even remember how the system works now. Speculation on new teams this year? No, and nobody does, and that's how I like it. We can randomly guess. We can wish list. I want Tyranids. There you go. I don't care about anything else. I want Tyranids and I want Grey Knights. Oh, and Custodes. There you go. That's it. Give me those three. Done. Oh, Death Watch. Yeah. Give me those four. Done. Oh, and another Necron team. There you go. Yeah. I want those 5 teams and then go away. A 6th team. I want Catachans. Sound? Has Sound gone? What? Don't just hit me with that, Just JP. No, that's you. That's on you, bro. Is it? Let me check. Hello? Yes. Okay. Brah, it's not me. Cool. Okay. Okay, that did turn a little bit into a Monty Python sketch of, you know, what have the Romans ever done for us? And these are the 6 teams I want. But ignoring that, I want those 6 teams. Thank you. Thank you. Three of Doors, Gallodark. Fair play. Rumors appear to be Grey Knights versus Demons, but not heard anymore after that. Probably another human Imperial Guard team. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'd be down for that. Cool. You are saying the playtested Warp Covenant and thought that was fine. It does seem hard to imagine that happened. I don't know how that happened. Everyone agrees, even the pro players, Warp Covenant are not fine. But we have to accept that either the absolute top tier pro players that were in the Let's Playtest Warp Covenant, pod, section, whatever, did and said, yes, these are fine. And it has to be because they are good enough to deal with them with other accidentally good teams. And if we don't believe that, then we have to believe that the playtesters are incredibly biased, and one of them really likes Warp Coven, and one of them really likes Inquisition agents, and nobody said no. So I'm going to believe the first thing, thank you. Because otherwise, what are we doing here? I got real close to swearing there. Real close to swearing. Ooh, blimey. Stay hydrated. Hydrate your rage. Hydrate your rage would be a good t-shirt with like a corn berserker. With like a Coke on or something, you know? Right. I'm catching up slowly, guys. Sorry. We can get to the next bullet point soon. I've lost my place. You're certainly playtested. It's hard to figure out what to do with Vespers other than kill op and foregoing crit op until you can get a bunch of the enemy models off the board. Yeah, totally agree. It's a very odd team. It's a team that functionally works the same as an all melee team. You charge, which means move, so you get your buffs, and then you shoot the closest model. But yeah, like you're acting as if you are charging. And that doesn't work very well. Yeah. And let me tell you, even Vet Guard will run into you confident of winning melee. That's real tough. Real tough. I think it's fairly obvious GW doesn't do enough playtesting. Even their big main games release with large problems fairly regularly. Yes, they do. I will say very quickly, balancing a game is super difficult. And yeah, like beyond complicated. And just number of reps, really, really difficult. And the way that Kill Team builds out kind of its, and 40k I'm sure, less so 40k though, and the way Kill Team builds out its system is that yes, you can use an algorithm to get every team balanced when it comes to just, you know, how you've weighted different stat numbers. But because we have quite crazy random abilities that let us do different things, which yes, you could in theory weight depending on what they do, like to give something a ceaseless versus a reroll of a single dice versus relentless, you can weight, but other things hard to put in there. But you could weight it all. Really just has to be play tested on the table, and this is just a day job for the designers, right? Like, they get paid to release the game. If they don't release the game, they don't get paid, and it's like, well, you know, I have no doubt that the team at GW would love to just never release the game and just constantly tweak it, but they get told by the boss, right, you have 3 months to write the game. Go. Is that right? So what, you smash out the core rules in 3 days? And then you're just play testing. Like, I assume that's how it works. Like, even GW, they don't have that long to make a game. Right? So, you know, I actually give them a lot of the benefit of the doubt when it comes to a broken game. To the point that I will happily say the game is probably a little bit broken. But I don't blame anyone for it. And I don't think anyone should be shocked that it is broken. And it's almost not a negative to say that it's broken. Obviously, though, as soon as I say the game is broken, a lot of new players who kind of perhaps are into this for the first time take it as like, oh, well, the game's broken, I'm not going to play it. But I'm like, yeah, but like, games are really tough to balance, so, you know, there you go. But anyway, cool. Burger King continues to be the there's no, yes, 100%. If there was a McDonald's, I would have gone with that. McBreakfast needs to be 24/7. I agree with that, yes. Back when I could eat carbs, McDonald's pancakes were one of the few places in the UK you could get American-style pancakes with syrup on, which is a banger. I spent my money at a Grey Knight. Oh, man, I love a Grey Knight team. I can't eat... just give me a Primaris scale Grey Knights. That's all. They can be identical kits. But, you know, with some cool people doing, like, mine bullet poses. Done. Are all the season kill teams going at once, or is it throughout the year as it becomes 4 years since release? No. So we break the game up into seasons. So each season is a year. Once we get to the next season, once it's been 4 years, that season just goes as a big block. So we will lose Commandos, Vetguard, Corsairs, Legionary, Phobos, Pathfinders, Novitiates. Blooded. All at the same time. The unclassified thing, end of season, yeah, sound. Just JP, probably just unmute me, I guess, probably. Imperial Assassin kill theme, perhaps? Could do, I mean, it would be fun. Sure. And if I'm wishlisting Custodes, why not wishlist a more new individualistic squad of assassins? Yeah, sounds fine. Sounds fine. Sounds good. Bespoke Tyranid Katie went, yeah, I don't know, man. I guess they just don't like money. Deathwatch versus Necro. Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine. Custodes versus Tyranids. Well, I guess out of the ones I said, it would be Custodes versus Tyranids, but Custodes don't really do much with Tyranids in the lore, do they? Can't see us do very well, there's a lot of glare. I apologise for that. I will lower my brightness settings on your monitor specifically. You want 12A, this department is abuse. Chaos Demon kill team would be pretty... I would like Chaos Demons, yes. That'd be sweet. Tough one to balance, because I imagine that they would try to copy what the current 40k faction does, which is they're all about kind of auras. And like it would be a big debuff faction, but that also hit you for like power weapon 4/6, lethal 5. Sorry, my chat just jumped again. That jumped quite far. Right, predicting a catch and kill team so they can also sell to 40k guard players. Yeah, I'd love it. Be great. Mods need a hard art of it. Yeah, they do. They do. I've seen some brilliant conversions using the what are they called? The Dark Oath Savages, Ravagers, whatever, Savages from Age of Sigmar. Looked brilliant. Really nice, really nice. If I ever wanted to do some catch chow myself, I'd totally use those. Brilliant. Brilliant. Oops. So cool, but they don't need a model update first. Grey Knight Kill Team would be cool. Well, we would be the model update. We would be the first release in the model update. Yeah. Catchlands versus more Tyranids? Yeah. Give me 2 Tyranid teams. Heck yeah, bro. That looks fine, thank you. GKT would be a precursor. Yep. year plus. Everyone like the stream. Yes, please. I'm terrible at asking for engagement, but please like the stream. That'd be cool. I don't know what it does, really, but it's probably a good thing, maybe. We need the most obvious and easy kill theme, Gene Stealers. So I don't think it'll be Gene Stealers, though, because we have a Gene Stealer new box. So it's got to be something else, which is fine. We could just have a new biomorph. That's cool. You don't play a lot of dev games, but actually test nothing. Possibly. If you want to play a balanced game, play checkers. I'm more a chess man. I've never been into checkers at all. Oh my gosh. Gene Stealers and Assault Terminus is a Space Hulk thing. We'd only ever get that as part of a between-season release like Ashes of Faith, which would be cool. We are all kind of assuming at some point they will do a new set of Space Hulk. So it shouldn't be a kill team thing, though, let's be clear. But there you go. In fairness, there definitely was testing. There obviously was testing done, yes. The game isn't that insane. There's just a few outliers that make it seem pretty abysmal if you're playing into those. And with a callous disregard for new players that aren't playing Marines. Pseudo AI data models to do it with GW. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? That's just not their thing. Losable kill theme, everything below the 8 best teams or so. Yeah, so it would be fun to say if we were to go to kill team battle kit, go to the tier list, right? Here we go, and say you're not allowed to play the S or the A plus tiers, but it has to be A, B, C, D tiers. That'd be fun, right? That'd be cool. I'd enjoy that. Yeah. Anyway, no one's going to do that. Cool. So, we will come to the numbers soon, don't worry. I still have to catch up with chat. Man of War was broken, but was the best game. I never played Man of War. I agree that balance with these types of skirmish and war games is very, very difficult. As I said, I think the GW worries too much about balance. I don't play tournaments. But I still want balance in my casual games. Henny George, the man that gave me a lift to the tournament. Thank you very much for that. We play casually and pair like power teams against each other. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, that's cool. How about, and hear me out here, a proletariat militia team, all 1 damage weapons, hit on 6s, and you get 50 guys. Would you really bring the pain of playing 40k to kill team? I would pass on that team. And I would pass on playing into that team, but hey, email GW your suggestion, why not? Evening Kenny, Catachans versus Exodites. I know that a lot of people are into the Exodites, but don't get me wrong, you know, like elves riding dinosaurs, very cool. But I'm like, the Corsairs, like, already have. I don't know, Corsairs, really. Releasing broken is forgivable, but wait, I do agree with that. I think they've waited way too long for a patch. I would have liked to have seen an emergency patch ASAP pushed out, and then now we get the proper patch. 100% agree. Because the problem is, and we all know this patch isn't going to fix the game. You've got to wait for the next patch, right? 6 months into the game, we should have a truly well-balanced, workable game. This patch is going to be an immediate knee-jerk reaction that has then been sitting around on some translator's desk for 3 months before it gets to us. So if you think back to talking points from 3 months ago, like 2 weeks after the game released, those are the fixes we're going to get. So many things were not talked about then that have then come to light, right? So, which is fine, you know, the fixes won't work. And then, again, pure speculation, but they're going to start working on the next patch, I don't know, a month after this one drops, and that's when actually they don't just have a month of data, they have 4 months of data, and we're going to actually see a good patch come out. This one's going to be not what we want, 100%, 100%, but hopefully it will tone down the top. There you go. That's all we can hope for. Day slate this week. Fingers crossed. They really should not let LVO go out in the current state of the game. Sure, it's not criminal. Thursday likely, yeah, I would assume Wednesday or Thursday. But it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What are the apps slowed the release of an update? I know people call it a glorified PDF viewer, but I can imagine it's not straightforward. I heard vague rumours, and who knows where these come from, that yeah, they've had trouble syncing the app and the PDFs or something. I don't know. Straight to jail. Lol. I'd love more boxes like Ashes of Faith. That was a cool box. Yeah, that was fun. I feel like they could do more. So basically, Kill Team is locked into we get 2 teams every 3 months. Fine. Cool. I would like to see them, maybe. What do you think? I would like to see a box like the Fire and Faith box that was just for solo play. Just narrative. They can give us an NPO team. You know, it doesn't even have to be a real kill team. It could just be 50 termagants, whatever, right? Like, whatever horde mode they want to create, right? And just, like, make that its own thing. It doesn't have to be new models. And do something interesting with solo player. A release just for the solo players, see what that does. I think that'd be quite interesting. You could perhaps expand a lot on... I don't know. Anyway, so it would be interesting to see what they did there. And I think that would be a good way to get more Kill Team releases without just flooding us with more teams, which is what they tend to do, obviously. And you can't make a big deal about legendsing everything if you're going to give us more teams than ever before. Box was weird, not sure. Just 2 more teams, really. That they tried to make a very narrative, tight, coherent narrative around the box. Nice. Back in a bit. Have fun, Major Tom. 100 boxes that got my board game friends interested. Oh, good. Any clue what the next balance changes are coming out? Nope. We would hope Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. We are assuming Thursday, but it could be Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is a possibility. I am indeed back. Brewster's Minions from Conquering the North. Yes, Conquering is a bit of a stretch. I don't know who was conquered more, me or them, but for that tournament report, you can re-watch. That was the first talking point I covered. It was brutal. More White Dwarf teams, please. I still haven't recovered from the momentary... I know, that was fun, right? I was super hyped. Yeah. That was not the case. Very sad. Or better yet, release them straight into the... Yes, indeed, we don't need a White Dwarf team. They can just give us the full rules by a PDF, right? Okay. Quick note. Before I look at the numbers behind me, I want to talk about the broken state of the game and the effect that has on tournament players. And the current... What's the word? Polite word. The current withholding, guilt tripping, I don't know, there's a word there, that the community is doing within the community. So, if you're a serious contender to go ahead and play at Worlds, so you think you can win a golden ticket, so you can either just... So there's 2 things. You can either just win a golden ticket. That means you're at certain levels to win a tournament, right? Cool, nice. But then there's also ITC. Some people would prefer to kind of be the best on ITC, or both, right? They're combined to be part of what they enjoy in the game from a competitive standpoint. Right now, top players are playing broken teams, right? Like Warp Coven, Legionary, that sort of thing. And that's fine, I guess. But they can't play anything else. Because at a certain level of play, there is no doubt that those teams, whatever those teams are, I'm not saying it's specifically those 2, but those broken teams are the best teams. And if you are someone that likes to grind ITC, get your points up, you cannot play another team. There you go. If you go to a tournament, and that tournament is signed up to BCP, It will grant ITC points. It will be part of your record. Therefore, even if it's plastered all over the front page of your tournament, beginner, casual friendly tournament. If you're on BCP, you're signed up to ITC, and that means people that are trying to grind ITC can come to your tournament and they will take absolute noob stomping killer teams, the best, most broken teams in the game, because if they lose a game, they lose a tournament, that actively works against them. There you go. And that's a thing. And I think that's pretty shocking and bad. Yeah. So part of the reason why we're seeing top players always taking the same really broken teams to tournaments that they probably shouldn't be taking them to is because if those top tournament players go to a tournament where another top tournament player has gone, it's almost a game of chicken, right? Like, hey, are you willing to risk that your opponent hasn't locked in Warp Coven? Because you can only beat Warp Coven with that team that you know how to play. If you take anything else, you're screwed. Right? I think that's a real issue. Yeah. It means that we're getting a lot of tournaments that, frankly, horrific to go to. Absolute noob stompers. The reason I bring this up is because, I don't know if this is true, by the way, but the guy that won Worlds, Dan Barton, went to Warhammer World on the weekend, and I heard somebody say that he was there under a different name on ITC. Because sure enough, if you go to BCP and you look at the playlist, there is no Dan Barton. But I heard that he is there. And I have not talked to him about this. I heard that, and then I had some thoughts. And I think, you know, I would assume that the reason that one would do that is because you still want to go and play, but you're bored of playing Warp Coven or whatever, and you want to try new teams, you want to see how things go, but you know that there's going to be like 10 other really strong players there, and if you're not Warp Coven, best team in the game, you are not going to win against them. So what do? You go with a different name, and that's real sad. I'm just throwing that out there. That is the position they have to be in. I think that's quite bad. That in itself is, I feel, a very damning statement about the competitive top tier balance of the game. And yeah, I'm not happy about that. There you go. Yeah, that's just a thought I had. To me, that almost talks more about the balance of the game at the top end than anything else. You know, when some of the best players in the world don't feel like they can actually take another team. There you go. Cool. All right. Right. No more chat, so I can continue on to numbers and stats and stuff. Let's entrinken me quickly. I can show you my lovely stuff. So I had a bad time when I started playing X-Wing due to meta players. It's a real shame because X-Wing is one of the best games out there, man. Loved it. My vague understanding is I got out of the game just when the meta became a bit crazy and broken. They had just released the droid ship that was like the big droid ship, I think, and yeah, I got out is it Houndstooth? I can't remember. They released a big ship that had a little ship that came out of the cargo hold. And I wanted it, but never got it, because just as it released, I got out of the game and never kind of got back in. So whatever that was, wave 6, 7, 8, something like that, I don't know. And, you know, yeah. So I was always just flying into, like, ships you see from the movies. Good times, good times. I feel like BCP could fix that if they just let you check whether you want this tournament to count before entering. I don't know if it, like, should you be allowed to do that? I don't know. I don't really know what the philosophy of grinding ITC is, you know? By Gonj, hey, that's me, mainly play X-Wing, just got KT Star set for Christmas. There was X-Wing at the UKTC. There was also Shatterpoint, and Legion, I think. Yeah, there was Legion too, which is really cool. Cool that X-Wing, despite being dead, is still there. Yeah, very nice. I recently, just before they announced that it was dying, bought like 2 fleets. And then, literally 2 weeks later, they said, "Oh, we're stopping it." So I was like, "Oh, that was good timing." Kind of, I guess. I mean, dead game, literally dead game. But I've got the ships if I ever want to play it now. After selling all of my stuff from ages ago. Right, let's quickly talk about what on earth we're seeing on screen here. Right here we have just, you know, I just went along. I don't know how well you can or can't see it. But this here is, you know, every faction listed out, along with at the top we have the, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tournaments that happened this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, where there were 20 or more players, and I just noted down faction numbers for all of that, which is what we see in this big thing here. There you go, that's all that. Lovely jubbly. There. And then this line here, that's our totals. And then this pie chart is also our totals. There you go. Ah, yes. Mountainside Tabletop. Vic, famous from Reddit. From a Reddit photo, of course. He smashed it out of the park. 2 wins with breaches at a 6-round event. Very impressive, very impressive. Yes. And then at the bottom here, just because I thought, why not? I don't really care much, but it's always interesting to know not just how many people have taken, but how many podiums we actually have. So for podiums, actually 2, which I then put here, podiums in the right. So we can embigger me a little bit now because we don't need most of that. Kind of. So, we had 4 factions that had 2 podiums this weekend, which was what we got? Exaction Squad, Belgor Ravagers, Mandrakes, Void Dancer Troop, and then we had a bunch. So we had what? Wrecker Crew had 1 podium, Pyrotech Circle, Hearthkin Salvagers, Hand of the Archon, Corsairs, Blades of Cain, Warp Coven, Plague Marines, Legionary, and Ratlings that all had 1 podium, which is, you know, interesting. I like to throw some names out there, some words, sometimes a verb or 2. Doesn't have to all be nouns, you know. And I don't know. I just like to see numbers, and then of course I put it into the pie chart. Just to see how we're feeling about it, how we're vibing. It was 194 games. Sorry, it was 194 players, and obviously, to no surprise at all, we have Angels of Death absolutely wrecking face. But like, just, you know, the most picked team. But if we look at the top here, it's wildly only because of Warhammer World this weekend. If you look at Angels of Death for the other things, well, okay, Knots is also quite high, but everywhere else, not really. That's really weird. Likewise, Legionary, 7 at Warhammer World, 0 at Knots, 5 at France. I'm just saying, that's very interesting, you know? Very odd. And then Wreckers, so many of them. There were 5 Wreckers at my 35-man tournament. which is the same as there were 5 Marines, Aims of Death, at my 35-man tournament as well. But my gosh, that's a lot. That is a lot. A lot of players, if I'm honest, taking a few teams. Record Crew kind of makes sense because it is new. I get that. And that's kind of it. Obviously, we had Felgor win 2 podiums. We had Shane from Command Point win over in Canada, if you will, which makes sense. This doesn't surprise me, firstly, because Felgor Ravagers are very good. I think everybody knows that. I think everybody's saying, hey, Felgor Ravagers are really, really strong. And once elites get nerfed, elves and Felgor are going to rise right to the top and are going to absolutely smash everything. Crew Gang rise up. Yes. Agreed. Ratlings clearly need enough. Apparently, I can't play them. I'm trying to think, did I ever play them? As you know what, I only played them with 3 Ogrins one time. Maybe they're not that crazy to play. Like, maybe that 3 Ogrins, just move them up, let the enemy charge you, parry out, shoot, done. Where are we from roughly, Andy? I am a 10-minute drive from Stonehenge. There you go. That's the south. Oh, interestingly, let me throw this one your way, guys. Question for you. I'm from the south in the UK. The south is generally considered a little bit posher, right? In the UK, whereas of course in America, the south is generally considered not posher. Let's just say that, right? But somebody pointed out that apparently, if you like, there's some link in the past when it comes to accents that England is closer to a southern accent than, you know, other accents in the US. Does anybody know if that is true, or is it just like, because I find if I'm gonna do an American accent, it's much easier for me to do a southern accent. I can't say I've ever tried it. Like, I'm not putting in effort to do a southern accent and really grinding out those vowels. But like, yeah, quite easy. Whereas if I'm going to do an American accent that is less of a caricature, I struggle quite a bit, and you can see I struggle on more vowels. Also, on a side note, hot take. Obviously, Warhammer is very gothic. Black Library, Audible, that sort of thing, podcasts have some brilliant English accents, British accents that really kind of bring it all to life. And it sounds very gothic and serious. However, hot take, have you ever heard a southern accent in the US? Read it. It sounds pretty fire. Sure. Let me find something to read for you in a southern accent. I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. Let me get my my phone. So I'm gonna do. Oh, I don't know how I've got it. Let's see. Not that. Not that. I got it. Ah, here we go. Okay. Are you ready for... I'm going to embarrass myself. I love it. I should probably get back to talking about the stats, but during this brief interlude, allow me to have a sip of Diet Coke no caffeine, paid for by my patrons. Thank you very much for hydrating me. Yes, that's right. We're doing me attempting, hopefully successfully, a Southern American accent. On the postulation that I'm going to read the opening You'll know it. You'll know it when you hear it. I'm going to read Warhammer in a southern accent. There you go. Ooh, I need to clear my throat, but I can't cough because the mic's right here. I don't have a phrase to get into the accent. I don't have a phrase. Right, let's just loosen up a bit. How do I do it? I'm a southern lawyer. No. All right, let's just read. Fuck it. I swore. Sorry. Right. I was there, he would say afterwards, until afterwards became a... What am I reading? Let's keep going. Sorry. Yeah. Got it. I was there, he would say afterwards, until afterwards became a time quite devoid of laughter. I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. It was a delicious conceit, and his comrades would chuckle at the sheer treason of it. The story was a good one. Torgadon would usually be the one to cajole him into telling it, for Torgadon was the joker, a man of mighty laughter and idiot tricks. And Loken would tell it again, a tale rehearsed through so many tellings, it almost told itself. Loken was always careful to make sure his audience properly understood the irony of his story. It was likely that he felt some shame about his complicity in the matter itself, for it was a case of blood spilled from misunderstanding. There was a great tragedy implicit in the tale of the Emperor's murder, a tragedy that Loken always wanted his listeners to appreciate. But the death of Sejanus was usually all that fixed their attention. Yeehaw. There you go. Cool. There you go. Well, that was fun. A nice little aside there. There you go. What are we doing? I was there, yeah. I was there the day Horus killed his pa and his ma. I'm listening to the Horus Heresy series on my commute to work. The voice got, yeah, they're really good. Yeah, for sure. The Canadian event seemed to be busy. Biggest one in Canada ever. That's awesome. Awesome. It was 39 players. Yep. There was also one happening on the other side of Canada, but it was a little bit smaller. Grim Dogs of the Far Future. Yeah. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Is this Leo from Django Unchained? I don't know his accent. But he's American, so it doesn't count. I'm British. It's like Morgan Freeman narrated The Shawshank Redemption in space. Nah. Does he have a southern accent? I guess. Is this heresy? This seems like heresy. No. No heresy. No heresy. No, but I want to hear southern accent in Warhammer. That actually wasn't bad. Yeah, indeed. So I thought of that because somebody said the same thing about Shakespeare. They said if you just recite Shakespeare in a Southern American accent, sounds kind of fire. Yeah, Southern gentleman. Yes, that's the vibe I'm going for. Foghorn Leghorn. That's me. And I was like, and then he did like a sonnet from Shakespeare in a Southern accent. And I was like, that was terrible. You picked the worst thing to do. Why did you pick a random one that sounded bad? You should have picked a classic. Some Macbeth, some Hamlet. Instead he picked one I didn't even know. Cringe. But anyway, whatever. So yeah. That is basically how John Grammaticus sounds in the... Is it? Okay. I don't think I've ever heard... I don't think I've gotten far enough through Horus Heresy to get there. I've never listened to a Horus Heresy audiobook. That's not true. I have. Just not from the start. I haven't like worked my way through it. I've been very much... because I read those when they released. I was there the day Black Library released a book. You know? And so I've never re-listened or reread those since they released. But then, like, randomly as I'm getting into Thousand Suns or whatever, I would pick up an audiobook of Magnus, the Primarch novel. The pseudo lesson, so annoying. Southern speech works so much better. Pseudo-Latin isn't the accent. Southern is the accent. I'm confused. Okay, cool. Right, so anyway, with that in mind, we got half an hour. I could, of course, just go ahead and read for half an hour in a southern accent. Heck to RG, hello. You've made it in a smidge late, but you've missed most of the talking points. You just missed me reading the Horus Heresy books in a southern American accent. Beckwin. I did not get on with Beckwin, if I'm honest. Didn't grab me. I might have been expecting too much, or not my vibe, I guess. If I had to just sit down and read something for fun, actually, the thing that I like the most is just standard military sci-fi. Mil sci-fi. Doesn't need to be Warhammer. Military sci-fi, really enjoy. I'm currently reading something. But yeah. And that's why I really like a lot of the just standard Imperial Guard novels. Because they're just military sci-fi, but you file off the numbers and you know, the serial number and say lasgun and recaf. So, yeah, this is great. Instead of laser gun and adrenaline juice or whatever, you know, great. Watch it later when it's uploaded. Nah, okay. Day's free for all, so watch it whenever you want. Read for half an hour. As you were the only person that said it's not bad, I would just let you clip that, and that could be yours. There you go. Nobody else has been quite as forthcoming as you. Well, now I need to make some Southern Cowboy Space Marines. That you do. Do you perhaps go over how to win with the Jaegers? No. I have not played Jaegers this edition. I played them when they released last edition, and they're very similar. But I'm definitely not a Jaeger guy myself. There and back again, all the salvagers. Same thing with them. I've played into the salvagers this edition, but not as them. You should try Double Eagle. It's just World 2 plane book, but instead of Spitfire, they say Thunderbolt. Yes. So there was a book that Dan Abnett did, which was the Fly book, and then they just released a new one. I haven't read the new one. I read the other one that was released a few years ago now. It might be Double Eagle. I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was really cool. Made me wish they hadn't scrapped the Aeronautica Imperialis game. I guess. There you go. The Expanse books are great. Not exactly Mil Sci-Fi, but Mil Sci-Fi adjacent. Never read them. Obviously, I'm aware of The Expanse, but dang, Yosemite Sam, Space Dwarves, applied dwarves directly to the forehead. A book that I recently read was Spiderlight by Adrian Tchaikovsky. It was an absolute banger. I'd recommend that to a lot of people. It's fantasy, but it is very... It was good. It was really good. Yeah. This guy on Reddit posted his Space Cowboy Jaeger team. Well, that makes total sense, because they are already in trench coats, so they kind of already look like space cowboys. I have a question for you about the games you do with yourself, playing two teams. I love playing with myself, so I'm quite the expert, sure. How do you deal with TACOP? Do you choose one or not? If yes, which? Because you know your opponent TACOP role. Yeah, so I just choose TACOPs. There you go. And yes, you know what the TACOP is. It is what it is. It's not a perfect system. I'm okay generally when I'm solo playing myself. The reason I'm doing it is to try and get better at the game. And so I do want TACOPs involved. And what I'll normally do is I will be maining one team, and then I'll just be not maining the other team, to be honest with you. So, but I am trying to win with both teams, obviously. But in my head, I'm like, I'm playing Blades of Cain into something, right? So I do try to, yeah, I just play a full game. Something that I find very helpful because I found I couldn't solo play last edition at all. And there's no changes in this edition, so it is a little bit of a, you know, I think that something that's very helpful is actually, so you set up your board, and when you make your move, as each team, make sure you walk around to the other side, as if you are the opponent stood on your side, as that resets your view of the board a little bit, and you can kind of, you know, you're not going to be playing lightning fast, but yeah, the simple act of walking to the other side of the board definitely helps. It allows you to see everything in a new light, and so I can kind of mentally separate myself from the other side of the board, if that makes sense. For real, I read Double Eagle, got hyped for planes, then bummed. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the Imperial planes are still available for Titanicus, I believe, but not the same. Not playing myself too. Everyone should read Grunts by Mary Gentle. So much fun as Lord of the Rings meets Orcs in Vietnam. I have not read that. Fair enough. I might add it to my Audible list. I'm currently in the middle of a bit of an urban fantasy kick. I'm a big urban fantasy fan, to be honest with you. Service Model by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Yeah, Adrian Tchaikovsky, I find he does some really, really good stuff, and then stuff that just totally misses me. So I'm always a little bit wary about the author, but I will always, as soon as I see the name, I'm like, ooh, I should check that out. But he's probably had as many misses as hits with me, but like his hits have been really like, wow, this guy gets it. Yeah, I might have to check that out. Thoroughly enjoyed it. GHD out here doing that Pixar short where the old guy plays chess against himself. Yes, that is, I am. Yes, yeah, I do. Nice tips, man. I have no friends to play during the week, just weekends. So yeah, totally understand. Yeah, like I'm much the same. As I was prepping for this tournament, which went brilliantly, I was like, I just need to get more games in, and I have free time and other people don't. So it's like, well, okay, I've got to play myself, really. So yeah, makes total sense. I'm going to Beachhead one day. So obviously Beachhead's just coming up. My understanding is that the tickets are sold out for this Beachhead. So it probably won't be this one. I think it's also only 18 players, which actually really surprised me, because again, I haven't been to Beachhead before, but my understanding is that it's actually quite a large venue. So to only be doing an 18-player kill team tournament seems a little bit of a shame. I don't know the ins and outs though, and I could be wrong on that, to clarify. I have no reason to not go though, to be clear. Do you have any suggestions on how to speed up the game for more horde teams such as Salvage's Jaeger? I feel like it takes me an hour to set up with 10 operatives. Gosh, I hate to say it. So, Bruce Wayne, Batman, if you will. I did do a video recently talking about how long should a game of Kill Team take to play. I'd recommend reading that. And I say in it, it's a crappy answer. You just have to play more. You just have to learn the game. There you go. You kind of, you know how all war games are basically the same. You will be slow until you learn the game. There you go. Sucks. No way around it. You have to learn the core rules, and then you have to learn your team's rules. That's the key, and once you've done that, you'll be fast. There you go. There really isn't a trick. I suppose the only thing I would say is that actually a 10 model team isn't really any slower than a 6 model team once you know the game. So don't be afraid of 10 model teams. However, if perhaps while you're learning the game you would prefer to play a 6 model team, that makes sense. But honestly, until you're at the point where you're not having to look where you're not having to look at the core rules, and then until you're at the point where you don't have to look at your faction rules, it's going to slow the game down. It's what it is. For example, next Sunday, I'm bored of playing Blades of Cain. There you go. I don't want to play them, but I know their rules, and you know what? There's something really, really nice about knowing the rules of a team. You know, it's just like, oh great, I don't have to think too much. I know what all my team does. That's fun. And if I swap to any other team at the moment, I won't have that. That's a little bit scary. I've gotten real used to knowing the rules of Blades of Cain and not having to look in the rulebook. Not only does that make my game so much faster, it's also quite comforting because I'm not going to be like, oh, I forgot that thing. It's like, no, I know the team. Apparently I did forget that Wreckers have last 3. But that's on me. That's another issue. Yeah. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but you just have to learn the game. Oh, the best way to learn the game is have somebody else teach you. Just to clarify. If you are and like on your own or with one other guy that are learning the game together, it's just going to take ages. There's just no way to get around that. It sucks. The ideal way of learning a game is always getting introduction games. There you go. Yes, Brewster, I've heard that you're not TOing anymore, which is a shame, but obviously I'm sure that you have other things you have to deal with that weekend. I've got a ticket. AI was just dreadful. X-Wing though. Yes, X-Wing was better. 100%. Agreed. Shame. I've got a ticket for the Sunday. Would have been great to get a game. Is it a 2-day event? As you can tell, I clearly don't know what's going on at Beachhead. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not really a tournament goer. I am currently going to 2 tournaments this month, but it's almost random, and whether or not I continue that, totally up in the air. But I'm not really a Bournemouth guy, but if you're up in, you know, near where I live, then I'm always around for a game. Last year I had a 2-day event, I believe, has been brought down to 1 day this year. Oh, okay, interesting. Wonder why. Maybe Gentle has written some great stuff. Grunts is pretty brutal. I was still at school when my local librarian recommended it. Okay. I will say, quick side note on Grunts there. I don't like Grimdark. I know a lot of people are really into Grimdark at the moment, but just not my thing. I'm also not a cozy fantasy guy. I'm a standard fantasy, urban fantasy dude. Grimdark does not interest me at all. There you go. So that is something I always have to keep in mind. If I go and ask for a recommendation on a book, and somebody says, "Hey, check out this Scott Lynch book," or whatever, or no, not Scott Lynch. He does Lies of Locke Lamora. Oh, what's his name? The guy that does the Blade itself. That guy says, "Check out these books." I'm like, I'm not listening to a thing you say. Thanks. Is the best way to get better at the game to play the same team over and over? Yes, it is. All you're doing there is removing the variables. As someone that is a committed team hopper, what you see here is not the way to learn the game. Every game I've been playing the game for the whole of last edition, and the way I normally play, the way I go into a game, right? I don't know what I'm doing because I don't know the team I'm playing. It doesn't matter that I've played for, you know, I'm in my 4th year of gaming. It's just, yeah, I just don't know my teams. And so I always go into a game thinking, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So genuinely, I would recommend you pick a main. If you can do that, at least for your first like half dozen games, that would be easier to learn and really focus. Joe Abercrombie, thank you, and really focus on the core rules. That's how to begin. Yeah. Love the big line of sight video by Mojo Joey. Yep, thank you very much. Help me and my mates who have been playing over a few months now. Awesome. Yes, it's an interesting one. I feel like, because line of sight used to be such a big thing. There were so many videos on how the hell does line of sight work. So many flow charts, terrifying. You know, all these things. And honestly, I figured another content creator would have done it already. Like, I didn't get it out there fast because I assumed somebody else would do it. But I feel like I said this last time as well. I feel like the current content creators are all now experienced veterans, and they've forgotten what being beginners is, and so they're no longer doing specifically beginner content. Some of them are, but yeah. So I thought, okay, well, got to do the big line of sight tutorial. Grunts is not grimmed up by any means. Fair enough. Good. Debating what teams to go with for the tournament. Thinking Plague Marines, but honestly I'd be happy fielding any. What's your suggestion? We go to the pie chart. Well, do you want to win? You want to lose? I don't know what your goal is. I can tell you, if you want to be a hipster, not a single person has played Yellowpox or Novitiate this weekend. So those are two good teams to be hipster with. And if you want to be a mainstreamer, Angels of Death, most played. But only because of the Warhammer World Tournament. If it wasn't for Britain, where they had 5 and 9, the rest of the world barely played Angels of Death, which is really interesting actually. Legionary were quite heavily played elsewhere though. Wrecker Crew's big, Corsair's big. Yeah. Plague Marines get decent play as well, with 13 players there. Third most taken kill team. Play whatever you feel is fun. Preferably win. Well, play Warp Coven. There you go. I don't know, I can't help you. Well, you know what? It's impossible to say because we're expecting that we're going to be getting a balanced stage slate this week. So it's all going to change. And if anything's going to be touched, it is going to be Marines. And Warp Coven and Legionary specifically. Even if everything else stays the same, those two will, I'm sure, have something change with them. Lies is pretty grim dark in places. Yeah, in some places. Oh, the Grimdark not cozy. Black humor maybe. Fair enough. Joe Abercrombie. Yeah. Going to LVO this week. Excellent. Good to hear it. But what are the mass? What are the 176? Is that right? 174. Awesome. We're getting a kill team tournament so big. Love to hear it. Wheel of Time. Never read. Eternal Champion. Never heard of it. There you go. Easy. All of these. So I as a Reddit frequenter, I often go to Reddit and R-Fantasy, and you can ask for anything, like, and you can request like a recommendation. And Wheel of Time, Malazan, and Brandon Sanderson basically get recommended for everything. Oh, I was like, nah, I'm good. Specifically with Malazan, Lords of the Fallen, they're like, it really kicks off around book 7. Like, these are not small books. So, I take a long time to read. I'm not a fast reader, so I don't look at a big tome of a book series and think I got to get on that. Preferably win. Why are Novitiates so unpopular when they've always been really strong? It's a good question. This was something I wondered, and it's something that I think is part. So you know how the game's broken, as we all discuss. Indeed. I think it's still very early, and yes, we have identified a few things that are good, and like too good. But I do think that everything else is still very much in flux. Like, we're still learning. what's really out there and what isn't. You know, if you look at the first week of chat, the only thing people said was that all Marines are broken, 100%. Now, if you listen to generic chat, we've mixed that. We've said, okay, well, Inquisition agents, High-Tech Circle, novitiates, they're also really good, and you know, and we're continuing to evolve what we think is good and bad. If you look at like Vespers used to be like middle to top tier, like for that first tier list, they then got dropped very quickly and continue to slide down. But you know, Exaction Squad weren't where they were. Like you know, people are finding out new things all the time because how meta evolves, and it's a new edition, so we're going to be finding out new things. And I agree with you. Why did nobody run novitiates? 200 players, not a single novitiates, which is an S tier team. Every other S tier team got taken. Even Warp Coven, which was only taken twice, one of them in France. And need I say more? Am I right? So, you know, why no novitiates? I don't know. I possibly don't fully understand why novitiates are so good, but I think that they're probably quite hard gate kept by elites. I do understand that they are currently in the S tier, regardless of that fact, so I'm probably wrong. There you go. Luckily, I'm a casual player, and I say that just about every... If you play me, if you come to me because you want to learn how to play the game well, that's like coming to me and saying, Andy, I want you to teach me how to paint a golden demon, you know? Gone to the wrong place, my good sir. My good sir. Right. Appreciate the advice, lol. I'm expecting for all... Yeah, it's all going to change. It's all going to change. I'm thinking about starting my third kill team. I really like Hunter Clade, Mechanicus, yes. But when someone told me it goes out of rotation in autumn, what does it mean? Yeah. Okay. If you're aware of 40k in Age of Sigmar, this is something that is referred to as legends. A team can be legends. Okay? In Kill Team, we don't have that. We have something called Classify. Okay? So all of the teams currently are classified. It's just a word. It's just a random noun. Don't worry about it. It could be legends. It could be classified. Doesn't matter. When so we, as a game system, we are broken up into years, and we call that each year of releases a season. Hunter Clade and all of the rest of the first year, at the end of this year, in September, I guess, are going to become unclassified. Okay? At that point, they will not be allowed to be taken to a golden ticket event. All right? They won't be legal to play there. And that does indeed include Hunter Clade. Now, is that a big deal to you? Depends. Let's expand. Sunday, I'm going to a non-golden ticket event. It's just an event. I don't even know how many. 24 players. There you go. 4 rounds. 24 players, and it's not a golden ticket event, but it has specifically stated it is a classified event. And what that means, for now, is nothing. In a year's time, it's a classified event, and so the first year of classifieds cannot be taken. So, at the end of each September, a season's worth of teams will become gone from competitive tournament play. They're not removing the rules from the app. We assume. We don't know. We don't technically know. I don't believe, I'm pretty sure they're not. I'm pretty sure they said in their big thing that they will stay on the app, right? So that's fine, that all stays. You just won't be able to play them at a golden ticket tournament. A golden ticket event is, so every year, sometime in October, November, there is the Worlds tournament run by GW, where if during the week, it's a qualifier event. So over the year, there are golden ticket events. If you win one of those events, you get a golden ticket, and that golden ticket gives you access to the Worlds event. There you go. There you go. So, it's what it is. Do you care about that? Is the question. It's a tough one. Obviously you've just come in now. You're fresh. You came in with Hivestorm, right? You're a new edition player. Honestly, if it was me coming in where you are, I'll just say it. Don't buy any of the first year teams. I have them. So if I want to play Commandos for the next month, I can do that and it costs me nothing, right? But I can't really, in good conscience, tell a new player to do that. Even though you will have legal rules for the next 4 years with them, which is more than long enough. But I just wouldn't really advise anyone to buy those teams. There you go. Because, you know, from my perspective, what if I tell you to buy a team and then you're like, oh wait, but I spent the money because you said it was a good team or whatever, and it's only tournament legal for eight months, and now it's gone, and hey, turns out I do care about golden tickets. It's like, sorry. So there you go. I would not advise you to buy any first season, whatever, teams, but at the same time, I should also point out that the actual number of competitive events is infinitely smaller than the number of people that play casually. Okay? The question is, can you find people that play casually? There you go. Also, I would probably say that outside of the event itself, even competitive players will be fine playing against those unclassified teams. I reckon that's a thing as well. I can't confirm that. I'm sure there will be some that are like, oh no, well there's no point in me playing that team because it's not legal anymore. But for almost everyone, it's just gonna be, oh yeah, I'll get a game in. It's good to know a team, like it's good to just know how to react to things, even if it's not that specific team. So don't get too hung up on it, if I'm honest. But yeah. They will still be getting balance updates too. They won't need them because they've been sat around for a year being balanced, but yes, technically they will be. Longest thing. How long will rules on the app be available for 1 year teams? So we don't technically know until that happens. I don't know why they would take them off. There you go. My understanding. The tough one. I've got no answer. It's entirely possible that they want to keep the app relatively clutter-free, and so they do remove them, and we only get them as PDFs online. We do know that the boxes will not be sold. So the Kill Team box for Commandos right now will go away at the end in September. That kit with those tokens gone. As that is no longer a product they sell, I can kind of see them being removed from the app. Because why would they promote a team they don't sell? I don't know. I don't know. How long will rules on the app? Yep. Opinions on only every KT24 legal team. Man, it's a fun project. It's too much. As somebody that has it, you don't want it. Let me tell you that. It's bigger than a 40k army. Way, way bigger. What do I have? I've got 36 teams. I mean, That's literally bigger than the biggest possible infantry spam 40k game. So that's the thing. Yes. I did lay them all out at one point. Fun in the move. Any guesses on the next box? Mentioned it earlier. We have wish lists, not guesses or speculation. Just, hey, these are the things I'd like. Tyranids, Custodians, Grey Knights, Katachan, and some others I forgot. There you go. But no, and you know what? I like it that way. I like to just randomly speculate. I don't want to know. I don't want any leaks. Just let GW show me some cool pictures at some point, and that'll be fun. I bet they'll still be on Battle Kit. Yes, indeed. I would assume that Battle Kit keeps them up. HT Dash definitely will. That's for sure. No doubt on that. That's fine. I can store a PDF on my iPad. I just brought Legionaries, so that might have been a mistake. The thing is, though, we're losing Legionaries and Phobos immediately, or in September, which is huge because those are two big teams. Yeah. Like Chaos Space Marine's gone. That does seem a bit crazy for the game. That's fine. I can store. Yep, I have every team. Probably played 20. Wow, pretty good going. I actually don't have every team. When I moved, I sold my AdMech, my 40k AdMech army. I regret this, but at the time I didn't have any storage space, so I had to sell armies. Now I have loads of storage. Well, I could have kept it. Oh well. But yeah, so I sold my AdMech army, and whilst selling it, I also sold my Hunterclade team, because why not? I never played them. So I actually don't have Hunterclade. Sad face, but there you go. Madness, but I respect it. I love my Phobos. Phobos are pretty cool. I still don't understand Phobos. I'm just going to say it. I need someone that's a good Phobos player to come and absolutely school me in Phobos. I don't understand how they could possibly ever beat Warp Coven or Legionary. But there you go. Cool. Anyway, everybody, we made it to the end of the video. If you made it this far, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that you've enjoyed my tournament recap. I hope that you've enjoyed my brief tournament stats, which I got sidetracked on. And I do hope that you enjoyed my southern accent reading the Horus thing, because could have got cancelled right there, let's just say, so good job me. Yes, French called the op treason. Oh, fun one. Nice. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you, fingers crossed, this week with me covering the balanced data slate. I'm really excited for what's going to be in it. Don't forget, keep your hopes down, because it's not going to be what we need. I talked about that earlier on, okay? It's going to be a knee-jerk reaction to what we were talking about for like the first 2 weeks of the edition, which is much different to what we're talking about now. But the first step, and in 6 months after the edition release, we will have a proper solid game. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you later in the week. Have a good one. Bye.